There is absolutely nothing in this world worth borrowing grief for at all. Anything that you may fear might happen in the future, if you think, or maybe you know that an outcome is inevitable, and of course you're always in control, so I don't want to say that, but you know what I mean. If there's something that you're almost certain of occurring within your life and you have a big fear as to what that can do for you, how that's going to make you feel, how that could affect your life or anything at all, I want you guys to remember how unbelievably incredibly important it is for you to continue living in the moment, for you to not let any of this borrowed grief get a hold of you in any way, shape, or form. And I'm saying this with a full ass heart because I'm telling you, borrowing grief, it is such a pain, and it is something that a lot of people do without even realizing that they're doing it. And the reason that a lot of people do it is because it's either that their head is in the past or the future. You know, they're not thinking about the present moment. They're not living in the moment as the person that they are, in which right now, if you're living as you are and you're thinking right in this moment, all around you, you know what I mean? Like, you're present, your mind is here. There would be no need or reason for you to be thinking so hard about what could happen, what is going to happen, what's this, what's that, what, all this stuff about the future that literally just doesn't matter at all. And of course, because you are in control as well, you don't know if any or all of these circumstances will be different. You know, you could entirely change your future. You could change a lot of things going on within your reality or things that will happen, which honestly, you shouldn't even worry about that in the first place. But in the case that you are, remember that you can literally shift that stuff in your highest favor. And I know, because there were a lot of things that it's so funny to think about, actually. It's so funny to think about the fact that my life right now is not at all what I thought it would be. And yet in the past, I would borrow grief from the future for a time period that maybe, like, obviously I became that age and all that stuff, but the stuff that I thought was gonna happen didn't happen. Or if something else did occur that I was borrowing grief for in the past, it would end up way better than I thought that it would. And I always knew, and I always know as well, that it was supposed to be that way, where things turn out much better in my highest favor in that regard, where the borrowing grief, you know, doesn't benefit me, but me just going with the flow and knowing that everything's going to be all right, it manifests such a better outcome in every single way. I don't feel stressed out because I'm afraid. I don't feel like what's going to happen, scared all the damn time, watching my footsteps or walking on eggshells. Like, I'm not doing any of that. And as someone who used to literally do that all the freaking time, my mind was always either in the past, deep in the past, depressingly in the past, or really deep in the future. And honestly, I think that probably the most stressful thing that you could do is think about the future to that extent where you're stressing yourself that much. It's just not worth it. Like, it literally is not worth it. It's not anything that you need to be thinking about right now. If it's not now, this is my rule. If it's not now, I'm not gonna freaking think about it. And I literally don't, because if it's not now, I don't care. That's it. Is it right now? Is it what I'm doing right now? Is me thinking about what could happen in 5 years' time gonna benefit me right now as I'm making this video? The answer is no. And it's also depressing as hell, like I stated. You know, you're thinking about that thing, it clouds your mind, you get really tired thinking about it, you feel drained, you don't even want to know what's gonna happen. You don't need to know, okay? You're in control, you're fine, everything is working out for you. Please stop tripping, and please stop borrowing grief from the future, for anything. It just doesn't matter, okay? You guys got this, for real. Don't let any kind of overthinking thoughts, any kind of anything get a hold of you in that regard. You are way too strong for that, and I refuse to let you sit here and be a victim to that stuff at all. I know that anyone in my life who does think this way, I knock it the fuck out of them, because we're not doing that. Especially when we're living in the present, what is there to think about? I would really get really upset thinking about the future that much, and that's exactly why I don't give a fuck at all. I don't care at all, because I can't. What's the point, you know? I know what it's like to be so indulged in a future of what could happen here, borrowing grief for things that I would fear, you know? And then I realized that it just didn't matter, because everything was going to be fine. And then it always turned out fine. Just like my life is very fine, very good, very everything that I thought it would be, or that I intended it to be, because I let it be that way. But even then, while I was manifesting this perfect life for myself, I wasn't borrowing grief for or from the way that I used to feel, and oh my God, and this, that, and what if I don't, or I'm not as happy as I want to be when the time comes. It's literally pointless. It's useless. All right, guys? please listen to me for real. I know that you guys will. I know that you guys understand what I'm saying, but this is very important. And I feel like it's not really talked about as much as it should be, because I feel like people just really live in that. Some people do. And we got to knock it fuck out, because we're not doing that. We're not. We're living in the moment, and we're not borrowing grief for or from a single damn thing. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter the future. If it's not now, it does not matter. Please remember this, my love, for real. This is very important. And I want you all to live your very best lives, very best days. I want you to live in the present moment as much as possible, and to not think about any kind of outcome of whatever could happen. It's whatever you say it is. It's going to be freaking fine. Even better than you expect. I promise you that. Listen to me, okay? For real, because you might hear that and think, but what if it's worse than I think? Baby, you're borrowing grief again. What are you doing? No, it's going to be even better than you think. Like, why the fuck wouldn't it? Exactly. Come on, guys. Y'all know this. But all right. I'll let y'all sit with that for now. I love you guys so freaking much. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you guys for listening to me. Remember to live in the moment. No borrowing grief from anything. Doesn't matter. Nothing at all. If it's not right now, it is irrelevant. And yeah, y'all definitely already knew that. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys again. I love you. All right, angels. Have a beautiful week. May everything work out in your highest favor. That's what I was gonna say. Live in the moment this week, okay? Y'all are already there. No borrowing grief for anything. Nothing. All right, love. If it's not now, it doesn't matter. Tell yourself that. If it's not now, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Exactly. Bye, angels.